Education and learning is at the core of what we do. Kaplan is your lifelong integrated learning partner that knows no great feat is accomplished on your own. Nurturing the next generation of future leaders and gathering bright young minds together from all over the world. Providing quality education with state-of-the-art facilities in a dynamic campus environment. Unwind, immerse, and seek your dreams in this cosmopolitan city. Education starts at the right place with the right people. Education begins with Kaplan in Singapore.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. 大家好吗? Good to see you all here in our live streaming. I hope that you are doing good. Saturday afternoon, we are here learning something new. By the way, my name is Jeffrey. I am the co-founder of Study Hub, Student Advisory, and JS Study Solutions. Now, can you do me a favor? Where you are right now, if you are watching this through the Facebook, JS Study or Study Hub, why don't you like the Facebook if you have not done it yet? Also, if you can, follow the Facebook, share it out to your friends, to anyone you would possibly think that they will be interested in knowing study in Singapore. Okay, can you do that for us? Yeah, it will be good. Anyway, just before we start our program, let me just give you a very short introduction of what we are doing. JS Study Solutions and Study Hub, uh, 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 we are a education consultancy office that is based in Klang. We have another office in Jenjaron, and we are also based in Seremban. What we do, which is generally free of charge to our students, to our client, is where we give out consultation, unbiased consultation towards tertiary education. So if you have not known us yet, this is what we do. We will be able to help you to get to know about some of the opportunities to study in Malaysia or even study abroad. Okay. Now, just to let you all know, today we are having this series which we call it the Global Reach. Now, Global Reach is something that is new, and it is a privileged thing that we are able to do this. Global Reach is a program where it will take approximately about an hour. Okay, where we Global Reach, we will be talking to a specific institution from the particular country. So today we will have Kaplan Singapore with us from Singapore, obviously. Of course, in many other weeks to come, we will have opportunity to learn about study in UK, study in Ireland, study in uh, maybe in Korea. So many other parts of the world, that you may not be familiar with. So make sure you tune into Global Reach. Okay, we will bring this to you live from time to time. Also, we have other programs that we run concurrently at the same time, where we got a turning point, and we have Career Insider, and we have another program which is run in Chinese, where we talk to students who are currently studying in some of the top university in the world. Okay, so we have got these programs for you. We think for you. We love you to have you with us all the time. to learn a bit more. Bring your parents together with you, and it will be good for you to share this out. Yeah, remember to like our Facebook, share out our live streaming right now, and sit back, relax. Okay, and we will be talking specifically, like I said today, Global Reach in Series 1 about studying Singapore. Now, okay, let me just tell you more um, about Singapore. I'm sure that you are all heard of this country, a smaller country just below Malaysia, correct? But maybe many of you only know Singapore for tourism. Many of you maybe may have a relative in Singapore who works there. You may have a friend who works there. Nevertheless, you know the fantastic opportunities that we have in Singapore. But do not forget, in every country, just as Singapore, there are many opportunities for education as well. Many students has gone to across the other side of the country in Singapore to further their education. Some of them do further their education in the government-owned universities. Many choose to go to private sector. So today we will learn a bit more about Singapore, some of the opportunities in Singapore, and specifically we will look at Kaplan Singapore. Okay, just not to waste more time, can I just bring our guest speaker out before I introduce him to every one of you?
Good afternoon,
Here you go.
everybody.
Good afternoon, Josh.
Good afternoon, Jeffrey.
Okay, we have here together with us is Joshua. Joshua is from Kaplan Academy, Singapore. It's a privilege to have him. He has been a very good friend of mine for many years now. He has got many years of experience, of even coming over across Malaysia. Yes, he is pure Singaporean. He is a Malaysian who works in Singapore. So he has been coming to Malaysia for many times now, either to West Malaysia or East Malaysia to do marketing, to do promotion. He's on the marketing side, and he's a country manager for Kaplan Singapore for Malaysia. Uh, yeah, I will just stop until there. Josh, you want to say something?
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, I understand it's a Saturday, late afternoon, early evening. So thank you for taking your time out to come and attend this program with Kaplan Singapore. I'd like to also thank Jeffrey as well as everybody at JS Study as well as Study Hub Advisory, for organizing this so as to allow all of you all to have a little bit more insight information, not just about Kaplan in Singapore, who we are, what we do, but also Singapore in general. So
Okay.
yes, Jeffrey.
Okay, thanks, Josh. Now, this session will be a little bit more of like a Q&A sections.
Mm,
All right, now,
yeah,
audiences, if you're where you are right now, if you have got questions that you would like to ask Joshua, why don't you put in the comment into the comment box? From time to time, as we can, we would try to answer you. Okay, and we'll try to get the answers to you. If we can't answer you there and there itself, don't hurry to go. Don't be impatient. Just hang on. We will come to you. Okay. Now, Josh, let's start by asking you more about Singapore, since we're talking about studying in Singapore. Everyone cannot deny the fact that Singapore is a fantastic country. It has got so much influence over Asia as well as the world. It has got so much power and recognition. Even though it is so small a country, but the world knows Singapore. You know, and I heard that there are quite a number of students who has come from all over the world to study in Singapore. I don't know, is it true that I heard that the figure can goes up to thousands a year to come to Singapore and study? Now,
yeah.
what is there in Singapore that you can share with your audiences this afternoon?
Okay, so yes, Jeffrey, you're right. Everybody in the world knows who Singapore is because of our geological location, making us a central trade route for logistics and everything. But of course, as well as the fact that we have a very good infrastructure here, and even a lot of MNCs as well as banks use us as a financial hub, and their
Mm.
Southeast Asia or APEC area HQ, so as to set up the offices. I am pleased to share that even in Singapore, we have big companies such as Procter and Gamble, Google, Facebook, even Airbnb. They are all set up here. And
Mm-hmm.
the reason for this is because Singapore is well positioned in the Asia region to support this market. Of course, in terms of tourism, everybody knows Singapore well. In terms
Yeah.
of education, yes, we are known for our local universities, but there are also very good private institutions that are in Singapore because, as
Mm.
Malaysians know very fondly, um, Singapore is a country with many, many, many rules. So
Mm.
when you have many rules and regulations, it's not possible to set up education or school to provide courses for students because we are
Mm.
talking about education. We are talking about students' future career. We are also talking about parents' investment. So this is not something that you can just mess around with. Okay. That also being said, so just let me share a little bit about what's in Singapore. All right.
Mm. Sure.
All right. So yes. So I will just touch on why study in Singapore. So for a lot of Malaysians, or I would say all Malaysians, as Jeffrey mentioned, yes, you know Singapore very well, and you know who we are. We are next door neighbors. But a lot of the Malaysians' mindset is Singapore is not going overseas. It's like going from one lorong to another lorong. Maybe I drive from Klang to Cheras like that. So we understand because we are next door neighbors. We are connected not just by air transportation or sea transportation, but also by land. Where you have the causeway as well as the second link.
Yeah.
So why Singapore? Singapore is a country that has many diverse nationalities as well as diverse cultures. So, of course, there is the Chinese, the Malays, the Indians, as well as the Eurasians, but not taking into account the fact that, there are a lot of expatriates here as well from countries in Europe and even as far as Russia or South America. But one thing is common is that for us in Singapore, the common language that we all use is English. Of
Mm.
course, 你们可能会认为我会不会讲华语？我是可以讲华语，可是没有像马来西亚的朋友们那么标准。我的华语也是慢慢从做教育这么多年才提高的。可是你看我讲出来也不是讲说很顺，所以我还是比较喜欢用英语，因为对我从小就是用英语长大的。but it's a language that I have had to learn, over the years because if I speak English all the time in Malaysia, um, a lot of people will just switch off. All right. So
Mm.
yeah, moving on. Why are we known as the premium education hub of Asia? Okay, first, cost-effective quality education. Okay, why do we say that? You get the same kind of education and the same kind of quality as you get if you study in countries like Australia and UK. But the
Mm.
tuition fee is close to 50 to 70% more affordable.
Mm.
Yes, of course. Me myself, just sharing a little bit about myself. I did my degree in Australia. No doubt, yes, it's a fantastic place. But the
Mhm.
course fees in Australia and the course fees in Australia now and at the time when I was studying is very, very different. To put it into comparison for everybody, just a slight deviation a bit. When I was studying there in 2008, my course fees a year was 16,000 Aussie dollars. So now in 2020, how much is it, Jeff?
I think okay, in the normal average, a fee to
Yep,
go to Australia will cost approximately about 35,000 to forty
correct.
thousand dollars a year.
Yes. So in 12 years, you look at the growth, and the fees are still increasing in Australia and UK.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So moving back to Singapore, we don't compromise on the academic standards that we have here because um, we want to ensure that students that study in Singapore get the same kind of quality. And how do we ensure that all the academic standards are maintained? We have audits throughout the year from different governing bodies, not just in Singapore but as well as overseas. Why? Because we offer our overseas partners programs in Singapore. So when they have to do audits, we have to do the exact same audits because we are teaching their program in Singapore. Okay, so I'll move on to the next point. Acceleration without compromise means to say that it's a faster study duration for the same program. To put it into perspective, if you study a degree in Australia or UK, assuming you are a UEC graduate or A-level graduate or a year 12 graduate, it takes roughly about 36 to 48 months, depending. All right. But in Kaplan, Singapore, it will probably only take 26 months to 28 months to complete a degree. And the degree is not awarded by Kaplan. The degree is awarded by reputable and recognized universities from Australia, UK, or even Ireland. So 可能你们会在想，你们看这个 program 的时候会在想，为什么这么快？Okay, the reason why it's so fast is because we just take away the longer school holidays. So 你们还有放假，可是没有那么长的假期，就是没有那种年底3个月的假期或者年终的那1个月的假期。上课的时间最多每天也是3个小时，没有超过3个小时。Okay, yeah.
这样我想问你啊，Joshua。Sorry, let me also use Mandarin to ask some question for my audiences in case you may be thinking why Jeffrey has always been using English. So I will mix English with Chinese just to make things more lively. Joshua, just to check with you， 当你讲到新加坡这么好，对我们大家也是很同意这个statement。But 在新加坡这么多学生来那边入学就是上课读书。What are some of the programs that are very popular in Singapore? In fact,
OK， 在新加坡的课程 actually 跟其他国家的课程是差不多一样的，因为我们有本地的大学，我们也有私立的大学。So 学生要当医生、律师、engineers, architects, 他们可以选择去我们的本地的大学，可是of course 那些时间也是会比较长，录取也是会比较难。私立学校我们 mainly 是 focus on 商业的课程 things like 金融、会计hospitality, marketing and specialized programs 好像 IT 或者 mass communication 等等。所以就是我不可以讲说 Jeff 新加坡有很 popular 的课程没有，因为我们跟其他的国家都是一样，什么课程我们都会有，可是不是每一个学校都会有那些课程。对。
Okay, 对，好。Then you mentioned just now earlier on in your slide, I got that. I heard what you say. You mentioned that basically the tuition fee to study, in general comparison to Australia to UK, it is approximately almost 50% cheaper. Then one of the things that I've always encountered when people ask, or when we talk about Singapore, they always come out the first thing in their mind is that, wow, Jeffrey. 不能哦，兑换率1:3呢。So 那边的 living expenditure 很高。So I want to ask you, Josh, if you can share with us, what about the living expenditure? I mean, tuition fee we get it, but how about the living expenditure? In comparatively, in Singapore.
Okay, so yes. Jeff 你讲的对，我跟学生父母亲讲话，谈到新加坡。每个人的第一个想法就是哇，兑换率这么高，1:3呢？对，那个我了解。6-7年前 ，I think Jeff 没有猜错，是1:2.5，对吗？
差不多了，呀。
对 ，so 兑换率我了解是算比较是算高，可是啊，这些家长或者学生们，你们懂，if 你们要去澳洲的话，兑换率也是一样啊。And 生活费对，在新加坡可能会比较高，但你不要忘记的是，生活费在新加坡你还最多也是还18个月，对不起，26到28个月。
嗯
if 你去澳洲读，可能是36个月到48个月，so 你也是要想，你去那边还的生活费，那之类的也是会比较高，也是会比较多。In a sense that if 你去那边放假的时候，孩子们还是你们回来放假，你3个月没有住在那边，租金不可能不要还啊，对吗？因为你一不还，你要把你全部的东西搬去哪里住？So 这
嗯
些就是另外一个开销的可能孩子们跟父母亲没有想过。So 我可以 show 一个 video，我会 show 一个 video 给每个人看
嗯
，roughly 那个monthly expenditure including including excluding accommodation roughly is but 只是一个 guide 来的，OK？
嗯。Hey, very nice.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I hope that everybody enjoyed that little cartoon also show us very informative information about the expenditure. I think it is a myth, for many who may not have. That's all right, Josh. Any more video?
No, sorry.
Okay, yeah, I'm just trying to tell everybody that it is a myth that many think that it is very high living in Singapore. So that video give you a little bit of an understanding. 一个很短的一个 video 就是给你们大家知道 it's not so expensive to be in Singapore, but you just have to be very smart in choosing our mode of transport, very smart in choosing what to eat, where to find food. I've been there a few times, just to share with some of you here. I was just there recently in January for Kaplan conference. Me and my wife, we went ahead a meal in a food court in a market. I just want to show her how affordable it can be. And to many of you who have not been there or you've been there but you've not have eaten in the market, it can be very affordable. One time, one chicken rice can only cost you like two something to $3, which is relatively fair. If you're talking about a city, so advanced like Singapore. Thank you, Josh, for showing that.
No problem.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
problem.
Yeah. Hui Hui, I got your question there. Hang in there for a while. Okay. 学生们，你们还有什么问题的话，你们问关于在新加坡入学或者在 Kaplan, just put it in the comment. We will come back to you. Now, so let me ask you one more question before we go into asking you questions about Kaplan.
Sure.
What the final question that I'll ask you is why do you think, by what you are saying now, you have given some very good insight, why we should be choosing Singapore if you want to study abroad as our destination?
I think because Singapore it's very modern,
Mm-hmm.
safe, multicultural country. It provides a very good backdrop for students that want to pursue their overseas studies, to study overseas out of Malaysia. Why I say that? Because at the end of the day, we realistically, yes, students probably go over, prefer to go to Australia, to UK, or even to as far as US or Canada to study, to experience the life there. But in reality, how many actually will carry on staying there, to work there, to build their career, build their life there? I mean, out of 10 students, I probably dare to put my neck out and say maybe 2 to 3 students will probably do that. Majority will still come back to Malaysia, either to seek employment or might end up trying to seek employment in Singapore. You see? Why? Because it's the closest to home and near to parents. And ironically, when students want to study in Singapore, parents worry about the 1:3 exchange rate. But when it's time to work, they want to get their 1:3 exchange rate.
So true, huh?
Yes, I mean it's an ironic thing, but that is the reality of it.
Correct,
So
correct.
I think that being said, by studying in Singapore, it gives you an advantage. Why so? Because it allows you to start building your network early. By building your network early, it allows you to have open more doors for future opportunities after you graduate.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
It is so true. I think many of us want to go to Singapore to earn a living because we believe the exchange rate is definitely much bigger.
Yes.
But saying that coming to Singapore to study, everybody will be concerned about the exchange rate. But nevertheless, don't concern. If you have a lot of questions and you are doubting about Singapore, how much it is, come and speak to us. Our counselors will be ready to help you, to guide you, to even prove to you studying in Singapore actually may not need to be so expensive as you thought. All right, Kaplan.
All right.
Now, Josh, ครับ来，我们就问你一些些问题关于
学校。
Kaplan 好不好？学校对，哎，你可以just inform everybody 告诉大家关于 Kaplan Academy 嘛，谢谢你。
好。Okay, so Jeff, before I actually, so I will share a little bit about the Kaplan in Singapore with everybody, right? All right. So, okay. So, why Kaplan in Singapore? So these are some of the programs that we actually offer here in Kaplan Singapore. from a
Mm,
diploma level to a bachelor level and to a postgraduate level. So as you can see, things like business and management, hospitality and tourism management, information technology, communication and media, law and criminology. So these are some of the areas of studies that we actually do offer in Kaplan, Singapore. All right. So what kind of programs we have in Kaplan, Singapore? So as you can see, we offer English programs for students that need to improve their English. All right, as well as we have O-level prep courses or even a foundation program for
mm,
students that prefer to leave Malaysia earlier to further their education.
mm,
And also we have diploma programs, which is next slide I will show you roughly in various disciplines, those that I shared earlier. And then when we
mm,
come on to the bachelor and master's degree, now in these two areas that programs that we offer, do note that it is offered by our university partners. Means the
mm,
curriculum, the assessment, everything is from our university partner. So when you graduate, you get the qualification from that university and not a
mm,
Kaplan qualification. So, and
mm,
that university, you can always check with Jeffrey and the people at JS or even at Study Hub Advisory. You know that it is recognized universities in Australia, in the UK, and in Ireland. All right.
mm,
So here's a very brief overview on the programs that we offer. So the university partners that we actually do work with is Murdoch in Australia,
mm.
Northumbria University, Royal Holloway University, Portsmouth University, and University of Essex from the UK, as well as University College Dublin, or previously known as the National University of Ireland.
Yeah.
In Ireland. So basically, this is the programs that we offer here in Kaplan, Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I have to vouch what Joshua is saying to every one of you. If you look at the reputation of these universities that they are partnering with, I give you an example because we also know them quite well. For instance, UCD, University College Ireland, University College Dublin Ireland, is the number two university in Ireland. So Kaplan is working with some of the very top university for everyone to know. And you don't have to go all the way to Ireland, UK. You can just come to Singapore and do it in Kaplan.
Yeah.
All right, now saying that you've got so many programs and you have got the pathways, can you share with us a little bit about the entry requirements? I heard that it is generally easier for students to enroll to a Singapore private institution than to compare to even in some of the Malaysian universities or institutions as well.
Yeah. So for us in Singapore, of course, first and foremost, we do not take into account whether you got pass or fail your sejarah or bahasa, because
Mm,
for us in Singapore, English is the medium of instruction. That is what we take very and most other countries, that is the priority, to look at your English, as well as of course to look at your other qualifications, subjects in grades in other subjects. All right.
mm,
So if you can see our entry requirements, yes, Jeffrey is right. We are lower, very much lower as opposed to Malaysian institutions in terms of our academic requirements. Like for example, if you have an SPM, it's a minimum of 1 credit in any subject. And when I say any subject, it can also be Chinese, it can
mm,
be arts, it can be whatsoever. Or
mm,
even if you look at UEC, we are looking at minimum of 3 Cs or 21 points. And O levels, meaning IGCSE, basically a minimum of 1 pass in any subject. So those are the academic requirements. Now, some of you all might think, wow, Kaplan, such
One credit.
yeah, recognized brand name, 1 credit, seriously, yes, we definitely do understand, probably parents as well as some of your concerns that, wow, they can take in anybody basically. Um, technically not true. Those that got no credit in SPM, I cannot take. That one is 100%. Yeah, I've
Correct.
tried, I've asked, not possible. But of course, you can always still come and do O levels with us, but I cannot take it. All right. So the first notion or the first thought, parents and students when they see this is, wow, so low. Are you sure it's of a proper standard institution, university? Now,
Yeah.
I'll be frank with everybody because it's my personal experience. When you are a student, all right, at the age of 16, 17, 18 years old, I'm not saying for all students across the board, but like myself at that age, studying was not priority. Studying has never been priority for me. If I can just pass, I get the credit, I get through, it's fine. I'm not aiming for all A's or all B's, To
Yeah.
me, studying was not a priority. So the reason why our entry requirements are low is because that we want to be able to give students that did not prioritize studying a chance to still pursue their future further education in terms of
Mm.
getting a bachelor's degree. We are not trying to be some charity or try to be some martyr. We want to look out for everybody in the world. No, because we recognize that at that age, probably that's not priority. I've had students that have come in with SPM 1 credit, and upon completion of their bachelor's degree with University College Dublin or even Royal Holloway, they are
Mm.
graduating with first class honors.
Wow.
So it's not a fair notion to say that I get 1 credit, universities push me away because I don't have the minimum grades to get it. Means I have no chance for further education. That
Yeah.
is not true, and to be frank, when you are on everybody picks at a different period in terms of their
Mm.
studying, in terms of
True. Very true.
how they
That's right.
value the importance of
Yeah.
education. And
Yeah.
most importantly, it's that when you look for a job, nobody cares what you got for your SPM or UEC.
Mm.
People only look at, do you have a degree or not?
Correct. Correct.
Yes.
The last graduating certificate more
Yes.
important.
Correct. Yeah.
But I also want to add on to what Josh said to many of you because 我们也是有见到很多学生，尤其是那学生拿到一两个 credit SBM 或者 IGCSE，就是刚刚有拿到一两个 credit，或者他们可能UEC students maybe 拿不到5个B，因为我们全部也是知道，如果你要进入马来西亚的大学，you want to go to Malaysia University, if you're UEC, you need to have at least 5B. I mean, I know that where you're coming from, sometimes you are confused, then you will ask, because you're comparing to Malaysia, our entry requirement, and you will ask, why Singapore is like this and why Malaysia is so difficult and why Singapore gives such a low entry requirement. Like what Josh has mentioned to you, it is always an opportunity for you to enroll into an institution in Singapore, in Kaplan, for instance. But I want to also let you all know that every country works very differently. The entry requirement in Malaysia are subject to the approval by the MQA under the Ministry of Education, and you all know that we have every country has got a certain standards of quality control, but we cannot say that to compare one country Singapore and one country Malaysia，然后你们就给一个 conclusion 讲一个 credit 就是很不好，因为一个 credit 在马来西亚就代表是个进 certificate program 1年半 but in Singapore you could actually still graduate in within 2 years. So that myth need to be broken. Don't compare between like this because it doesn't make a lot of sense to compare in that way because it just doesn't link. Okay, you cannot compare that way for your knowledge. Okay, now
Correct.
saying this one,
Jeff, just let me add one more thing. Sorry. So of course, 在 Malaysia, SPM 的学生要经过2年的 diploma if 他们继续在 Malaysia 读 at the end of the day, even in Singapore, 我们的 diploma for SPM 学生是要读6个月的 foundation 跟8个月的 diploma， 算是读完大学的第1年。But then again, 有些学生会讲，我在那边读2年先然后我才过来。 对，你是可以对，你是 you definitely can do that, but
Yeah.
the time wasted. And most importantly, like what Jeff said, every country has its different education requirements. Like in Singapore, our government institutions, the polytechnics, they are doing a 3 years
Yeah.
diploma. So for
Mm,
students that have completed O levels or SPM equivalent, if they go into polytechnic, they are doing 3 years of polytechnic.
that's right.
After that, where are they going to get their degree? There are only two options. Sorry, there are three options. First, if you are in the top 5% of the graduating cohort, you may have a chance to go to government university. Second, you go overseas, Australia, UK, get credit
Mm,
exemptions. You minimum still have to study 1.5 years there. Or third, your last option, come to private schools like Kaplan Singapore, where
mm,
you will probably take another 12 to 16 months to finish. So if you
mm,
look at it, after O levels, you are spending close to 4.5 years to finish your degree, which
that's
is
right.
a waste. It's time wasted, and there
Correct.
is no value to it. Yeah.
Yep. And again, I want to emphasize on what Josh said. In Kaplan, you could finish all this in within 26 to 28 months. Fantastic.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Josh, saying this now, I was mentioning about the MQA thing and
Yeah.
governs
Yes.
it governs the quality of education in Malaysia. In Singapore, I know that there is something which is also called the Edu Trust.
Yes. Correct.
It is a status right given by your Ministry of Education. Um,
Correct.
can you share with us more? Because we realize that in your banner you got this Edu Trust logo, and then your booklet you have it, and it has
Yes.
got duration there, a validity
Yes.
period.
Correct.
Can you share with the students, more on this Edu Trust?
Okay, so I'll briefly touch on this. Now,
Yeah,
what is EduTrust? As I started out this program earlier, I said Singapore is a country that has many rules and regulations. And
yeah,
because of that, many rules and regulations, like for example, cannot eat chewing gum,
yeah.
for example, to be able to set up an institution and offer education programs to students, there has to be a governing body. So
Mm,
EduTrust is what we call a quality mark that is
mm,
administered by the CPE. Now,
mm.
CPE is the short form for the Council of Private Education. They are
Okay.
actually a branch of from the Ministry of Education. So Ministry of Education will look after government institutions. CPE will look after the private institutions. So
Okay.
EduTrust is given for student is not given, is earned by institutions if they wish to enroll international students.
Mm,
And EduTrust, as Jeffrey said, there are a lot of different durations. So if students, you look through any Singapore schools, private schools, you look through, you see the EduTrust logo,
yeah,
you will see below there is a duration. For
yeah.
those schools that wish to enroll international students, the
Mm,
EduTrust duration must be minimum 4 years.
right.
There are some EduTrust that is given what they call provisional 1 year. Means
Mm,
CPE will assess how you are over this 1 year before they decide whether to upgrade you to the 4 years. But you need the minimum 4 years before you can enroll international students. And as you can see from the third point, the emphasis of this EduTrust is on student protection and academic quality.
right.
So you can see what are the areas that EduTrust comes to assess. And you might think, oh, once CPE give you 4 years, you are free, you are clear, you don't have to worry for the next 3 years, you do whatever you want. Um, no, that is not the truth. All right. Why do I say that? Because every year EduTrust CPE will still come down to do an interim audit on all these points to see what areas we have to do corrective action, what areas we have to do preventive action. So they will still do a check every year. But of
Right.
course, the year leading up to the expiry, that is the year where they go through the full entire process again.
Mm.
That's where um, boss's hair will become white, boss's hair will become white, my hair will become white because we have to provide a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yes.
good. Thank you for sharing because that some students, if you're not noticed on this one, there's an Albatross symbol, logo, and a
Yeah.
validity date. So very important for all
Yes.
the students, especially when you want to look at Singapore as your pathway for your tertiary education, and hope that Joshua has given you a very thorough understanding. It is a mark of quality, it's a mark of student protection, which can ensure you, when you come to Kaplan, come to Singapore, you are protected not only by the institution, even the government of
Yes.
Singapore ensures your welfare, your investment, going into a private academy to further education, right?
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
okay, good. Let me take a short break. Let me just go. Let's try to answer Hui Hui. I don't
Sure.
know whether how much is relevant to Kaplan, but let's look at the question Hui Hui asking. Uh, are we able to learn physical therapy or environmental studies in Singapore? As I know that some countries are not open to that to foreign students. This one maybe asking more in the general of Singapore terms.
Yeah, no problem. I can probably provide a little bit of background. Wait, wait, hi. Okay, so for areas like this, definitely you can study in Singapore, but mainly you are looking the institutions you'll probably look at are government institutions where they
Mm,
offer such programs, and they do take international students, but there
mm,
is a quota for each of their program. Means to say, right, the quota
mm,
for international students may not be very big for that program. So it's very much dependent. Unfortunately, in Singapore, uh, there are a lot of people who still believe that academic grades are everything. You know, you don't have academic grades, you don't have a future, you don't have a better life. Yeah, there are people that think that way. So, government universities still do look at academic grades, especially for students from overseas. So, for example, even if you have SPM straight A's, does not necessarily mean you can go into our local institute, or even if you have UEC straight A's, doesn't mean you can go into the NTU or NUS, because
yeah.
you might have 8 A's, but if somebody else has the equivalent of 7 A's and 1 A star, that person is still better than you. Yes.
Yeah.
So the reality of our government institution is that they still look at grades. You don't have the grades, you don't qualify. I'll just take about 2 minutes to share my good friend's story. He
Okay.
graduated junior college in Singapore. He applied for NTU Business School. He got asked to do a essay and went through an interview, but he didn't get in. All right. So, sorry, he didn't get to go to a business school, but NTU placed him into their engineering program because you have to make a few choices. So, his first semester, he failed all his engineering modules except the business module that he had. One of it, he got a A for it. Subsequently, he withdrew, he left, he went to Australia to study at the same university. That's where we met. A 3 years degree, he completed in 2.5 years
Mm.
and got Dean's honor roll and Dean's recommendation list. He also obtained a master's degree from the same university in international econs and finance, and also Dean's honor roll. So you might think
Wow.
he's very smart. Okay, well, I spent 3 years there with him. I can honestly tell you, he's more of a fun person rather than those kind stay at home and just study. Okay, so if you think that's the end of the story, no. After he finished his masters, he came back Singapore, worked 2 years. Guess what he did? He gave up a very good job. Guess he went to SMU to apply for their law degree. He is a recognized lawyer now. He
Wow.
cleared the bar in Singapore, but ironically, he's not working as a lawyer. He did it for his own personal satisfaction. So I've always joked with him. I told him, bro, next time if you make it out in the business world, in your career, you're recognized, NTU asks you to go back as a guest speaker, you should. Why? You go there, your opening statement is
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Good kind of
I
story.
I was rejected by NTU Business School many years ago. Look where I am today.
Yeah.
So government universities in Singapore are still very academic based.
Mm.
So without the grades, you are nothing. Yeah.
So true. Right, Hui Hui, I hope that answer your question. Yeah. If you have any more things that you want to ask, feel free to write. Otherwise, come to our center and we can guide you
Sure.
further. Okay, thank you, Joshua, for
No problem.
enlightening us on this part. Okay, back to Kaplan. Now, saying this one, thank you for your EduTrust explanation. Uh, Kaplan is a city campus,
Campus. Yes,
correct? It
correct.
is located in the campus, in the city, and in Warble High Rise.
Yes.
Um, Many students also I experienced in my counseling. City campus, no no social life. City campus means no facility for anything like sports, or there's no space according to
Yes.
them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what has Kaplan got to offer at this part? To show us
Well, I
options?
think I have to say, Singapore, as a lot of you know, is not a very big country.
Yeah.
There's limited land space. That being said, okay, so just let me share my screen again. All right. So when city campus, there will definitely be students that prefer physical campus，因为
Mm.
他们要那种校园的感觉，which I don't understand what that means 啦，校园的感觉，okay? So for us as a city campus, we do have a campus life. We do conduct activities not just on campus, but also outside of campus. Yes, you are
Mm.
right. As an office building, we probably do not have things like basketball courts, swimming pools, tennis courts, etc. Agreed, or football fields. But that doesn't mean that we cannot take it off-site. So
Mm.
our Kaplan campus life, we do have Kaplan Student Council, which is made up of various different sports clubs, recreational clubs, international clubs, which I will show in the next two slides.
Mm.
Activities we do as well, and of course, alumni club and student leadership program. Okay, so if you think that without having a physical campus, um, doesn't mean you're actually studying. I think that is a perception that you have to change. Like you can see in the videos, even for a city campus, last year we were able to host a group of 600 Japanese students for a
Wow.
visit, a whole day visit. Of course, we took them offsite and all, but we still can manage to host them, close to 600 of them on campus. So I
Mm.
would say for city campus, it's not too bad, but
Mm.
everybody has different thoughts of it.
Mm.
So these are some of the student clubs that we have in terms of public speaking club, those that like sports, basketball, football, adventurous club, those that like to do community service, we have Hero Club. And even for our Malaysian students, we have our own student club known as Malaysian Elites. So
Mm.
this is where they will organize activity roughly about 4 times a year to gather all the Malaysian students together. But of course, besides Malaysians, there's also the Korean student club. There is also Vietnamese, Chinese. Yeah, so various student clubs available on campus for students to participate and join. On top of that, we also organize activities, things like treasure hunt, or even our own dinner and dance for the students, or dragon boating, prom night. So
Mm.
we do organize activities, but it really depends on whether students want to participate in such said activities. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh.
So before we end on this topic, I'll just share another video on
Mm.
our leadership program that we have for our students. Okay.
Ah.
Hi, my name is Christine, and I have just completed the Kaplan Student Leadership Program. Kaplan Student Leadership Program, or KSLP, develops student leaders with exceptional leadership potential. The whole program runs for a duration period of 6 months. Inside this program, we have representatives from Student Executive Committee, Badminton Club, Kaplan Hero Club, VNCK, and myself from the Kaplan Adventurers Club. The whole program is organized by our Student Affairs and Graduate Services Office. In order for us to graduate, we must complete the leadership workshops, leadership camps, and leadership exposure. The leadership workshop covers on topics like
Principles of leadership,
succession planning, effective communication,
conflict management, budget planning,
problem solving, and decision making. Throughout the workshop, I met with leaders from the other Kaplan student clubs. Together, we shared our experiences and difficulties. It was encouraging as I get to grow and learn together with them. We also have to attend the leadership camp. During the 3-day, 2-night leadership camp, we took part in various outdoor activities such as low element and high element obstacle course. We even have to build our own raft to race one another. All these activities emphasize on teamwork and communication, which was essential in order for us to get through the obstacles. We were also able to apply the knowledge gained from the workshop to come together as a team to solve problems. Finally, there is the leadership exposure, where we will participate in campus activities and performances such as
Baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark.
We are now Kaplan ambassadors.
I'm currently in the 3rd batch of the program, and we look forward to having more students join us in the future batches to come. So, what are you waiting for? Once again, my name is Christine, and this is my therapy journey. Are you ready for your journey?
Fantastic. Fantastic. I don't know whether you enjoyed the video. I do. You know, you have
So
KSD.
just a side note, the girl that you all see, Kristen, she's actually a KL student, and she also single-handedly set up the adventurous club that we have. So she's very active with all these kind of activities here.
You heard that? You see, I heard something that Josh said. Even a KL girl would want to choose to study in Singapore. There's no reason why if you're from KL, we cannot go and look at Singapore as an options to further your studies. Okay, I know there are many options for you in KL, but hey, you always can learn a new thing when you go another country. If you realize, when Josh was saying about the clubs, you get to know that you will see friends for another country. He was saying about the Vietnamese club, the Korean club,
Yeah,
and what Chinese is it? So
yes,
there are
Chinese,
a few more.
so we
Yeah,
have a lot of
there's-
nationalities here in Singapore that are attending, that are studying with us.
Yeah.
And most importantly is to build your network. Network not among just other Malaysians that are studying in Singapore, but also network between Singaporeans and other nationalities as well.
Yeah, that's good. So, I hope you all enjoyed that video and what Josh was saying. Now, Josh, let me ask you this question as
Sure.
well. I'm sure many students want to ask this and know this question because it's so relevant to them. Now, after students have already invested or parents invested so much money coming to Singapore to study, paying, even though it's affordable, but it still costs a bit of money.
Agreed.
Some of them want to ask, after I finish my studies in Kaplan, what will be my opportunities in Singapore? Can you
To work.
elaborate?
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
to work,
course.
of course.
So, I'll be frank. If any institution in Singapore says that you come and study with us, immediately after that, we can definitely get you a job. Then my suggestion is go and study with them, because no institution in Singapore, be it government or private, can tell you the exact same thing. Okay, but just let me share what things we actually have in place to help students move forward just before their studies. Okay, so let me see this. Okay, so oops, sorry. So around 2 years ago, we set up a new area or new business area that solely focuses and looks into the employability and industry, but mainly industry engagement for both our students as well as for employers. So it's a back and forth thing. So we established this department that allows industry, business associations, and HR communities to work more closely with Kaplan Singapore to provide courses. Means that students that are studying X program, for example, let's say an IT program, right? They might have a lesson that is out of the class where they go for a actual industry visit, to see how maybe in terms of IT, how has it evolved into probably artificial intelligence, etc., stuff like that. All right. So what we do is that students still have to go through their academic program, but on top of that, they have to go through the professional development series, which is under the Student Affairs Office, where we will bring them through things like resume writing, interview skills, then after that assess and see and help them what is the area they need improvement on. After which there will be employability trainings as well as industry insights. So when students move on to the degree, there are things like experiential learning as well as graduate employment services. Now, what do we say graduate employment services? Of course, for one, we have our career fair, where we have done it twice every year or for the last 3 to 4 years. Of course, this year chances are probably cannot do because of the current situation. All right, but that being said, the career fairs that we have done have attracted close to 70 exhibitors across 6 different industries, as well as a total attendance of 800 to 900 over students. But one other thing that we introduced last year was that we also work with a recruitment agency in Singapore. Specifically, they only recruit for us. Means to say they don't recruit for us, they recruit for our Kaplan students. So if students are interested to look for a job in Singapore before they graduate, when they are on the final term to graduation, they can approach the Student Affairs. And what they do, what Student Affairs will do is go through the entire professional development series with them if they have not gone through. After which, give them the details to the recruitment agent. What we can guarantee at no cost is that there will definitely be interviews arranged. So for sure, student will have a chance to go for interviews. This is our guarantee. Whether students get job or not, that is not within our control. Let's be frank, But my advice to those watching, those students that are watching, because I think there are a lot of other people watching as well, this program now. For those students that are watching, when you are in your final term, be it whether studying with us in Singapore or any other institution in Singapore, don't wait. Get prepared, especially if you're looking for a job in Singapore. Start doing up your resume. Do your go for interview writing skills workshop, etc. You can always start planning to do this and even start applying for jobs first. Immigration says international students cannot work in Singapore while you are studying full-time. That's for international students. But immigration never say you cannot attend interview, right? You can always apply and go for interviews. And if the company wants to hire you, trust me, they will wait for you. I have had Malaysian students who were in their final term secure jobs even before their final exams. But of course, they find on their own how they do it. You have to start early. You can't wait until my exam finish, then let me party for 2 weeks because I finally finished my degree life. Then I want to start look for a job. Well, that's all fine and well, but at the end of the day, you don't have the valid pass to stay in Singapore. Then there's going to be a headache. How do you attend interviews?
Correct.
But yes, I have had students that got the jobs even before they have graduated. So it's a matter of finding. And why even for the recruitment agencies, we can guarantee interviews because it's the truth. We can ensure that student has a chance to go for an interview. But finding a job in this society nowadays is not just about the qualification you have. A degree is important, yes, but it's more on the fact that where the branding of the university, it must be recognized, yes, but you must have minimum a degree, and on top of that, it's your attitude when you go for the interview. It's your attitude and the chemistry that you probably have with an employer. If you go there, you're going to you can't get into a smooth conversation with an employer, then as an employer, why would I want to hire somebody I cannot communicate with? You can always ask Jeffrey. He is a business owner. If he wants to hire somebody, it definitely has to be someone that, there is chemistry, you can work with, you can understand. So that is the reality of the current working society now. And of course, your network. That is also very important. Yes, Jeffrey.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah, it is so true what Josh say is so true. Kaplan has got all the tools to help you. Kaplan can provide you all the networks and all the necessary equipment to help you to smoothen your journey to try to apply for a job in Singapore. But obviously, no one can guarantee anything, and not even in Malaysia. But however, you appreciate all these things that Kaplan is doing in order to help you to smoothen your journey to secure one job at least, and that is what they're doing to prepare you for it. And I like the fact that they are saying that they work with a manpower company that helps you to source for a suitable job for you, and that is fantastic initiative that they are doing. Okay, Josh, let me ask you just a final question before we go. And I thought, and this is another very relevant question that we all want to know. Um, COVID-19 is a problem, and not only Malaysia, Singapore, but the whole world is affected by this pandemic. Now, being an institution, Kaplan, we cannot stop what we're doing. But can you share with us some of the learning support that Kaplan will be providing to these students who still want to pursue education, but yet stuck because of the border restriction?
Okay, so the reality of the situation now, which I believe most people know or are still trying to come to terms with it, is yes, this COVID-19 situation has resulted in a change in social norm, a change in the way we lead our lives, a change of way, we go about our daily lives. Even for myself, being at home for almost 1.5 months, I think I'm going crazy already. But that being said, I still have another 2 weeks to go. But in all reality, what students and parents have to know is that this is not going away anytime soon. Okay, if this was something that will go away overnight, no institutions around the world, be it in Malaysia, Singapore, Australia, UK, will make the effort to do online programs.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, like yourself, you won't even make the effort to come up with so many various different programs, turning
So
point,
true.
global
So
reach.
true.
If this was just a 1-2 months thing down the road, the reality of it is this will not. This pandemic may get better in time, but online programs will be here to stay. For us in Kaplan Singapore, recognizing this situation early has helped us to ensure that our current students that were studying with us probably since last year or just started earlier this year were able to still carry on their studies without, having any time difference or leaving them and the parents in any 50-50 situation where they didn't know what's Kaplan going to do. Is there going to be online class? Is there not? Do we have to defer and wait 6 months, 8 months down the road? And how? So for us, I'm very proud to say that for Kaplan Singapore, we are the first private school that actually rolled out online programs for both our new and for any new students as well as for our existing students since the 3rd week of March. Be mindful, the third week of March, Singapore was not on circuit breaker yet.
Yeah.
And the reality to all my Malaysian friends out there and parents and students is even when the MCO ends on the 9th of June, hopefully ends, and the circuit breaker in Singapore ends on the 1st of June, doesn't mean that parents and students can, start coming into Singapore.
Yeah.
My personal opinion is that this is my personal opinion. Please do not quote me to any government agency. Say Joshua from Kaplan Singapore says. Okay, my personal opinion is that the earliest Singapore will actually open its borders to foreigners coming for social visit or even new student pass holders out of Malaysia. They may allow Malaysia in first. I don't know. Would probably be by the end of the year. Online programs will probably be here to stay for another 12 to 18 to 24 months minimum. So that being said, just let me share you one final artwork with everybody. All right. So this is the program the programs that actually all our programs are online now. Be it whether our Kaplan programs, our degree partner programs, they are all online. But the difference between our Kaplan programs and our degree partner programs is this. For our Kaplan program, as you can see, a Kaplan English program, foundation diploma, or our Kaplan diploma, the assurance from Kaplan Singapore is if you study online, you can finish it online.
Yeah.
Means to say, if let's say you start a diploma program in June next month with us, by end of the year, the situation gets better. We will say, do you want to transfer to Singapore to finish up the remaining 2 months? Because technically you have until February. You have until February to finish. If you choose not to come, it's fine. You can finish the whole program online. But we will not have new intakes in December for a diploma program if the situation by ICA allows entry to foreign students. For our university partners, it's more of they are wait and see. We will start now, then we will see probably after this term what happens in the next term. If the situation is such, they will carry on. But for most of our university partners is they will want to still expect students to come back to do face-to-face lessons. So the assurance is that if you start a Kaplan Foundation Diploma, Kaplan English, or Kaplan Diploma with us online, you can finish the whole program online. So you don't waste time rather than you stay at home for the next 8 months wondering, I want to go face-to-face. I don't want to do online. Let's be very frank. The difference between online and face-to-face. If you ask me personally, there is no, there are some differences. Number one difference, you cannot talk in class because you cannot whisper to your friend to your right, to the left of you. Number two, you cannot see pretty girls in class. That's the truth, okay? Because physically you're not there. But besides these 2 points, I feel going for online class, there's no difference. Why? If you are attending online class, like what I'm doing with Jeffrey now, assuming Jeffrey is the lecturer, if I have any questions, I can always ask Jeffrey. Jeffrey will also engage me to see whether I have any questions, whether whether students like us understand or not. We can also ask questions in class. But of course, for a student that does not, if attend physical class, go class, don't understand, don't ask questions, then my question to you is, what is the difference? You do online, you also don't need to ask questions. You just listen. Of course, the support does not just end there. Lecturers will also stay back after class to answer any questions you might have, as well as you have the support from our program management team via, they will use WeChat to create a WeChat group for all the students in that intake to ensure you all get the same kind of support if you have any questions, and access to our learning management system where everything will be uploaded there. So to me, of course, you all might think that, hey, you are Kaplan Singapore. Of course, you say it's very good. Agreed. I give you all the benefit of that. But to me, it's doing that. At least you are studying something for the next 6 months or 8 months while this entire pandemic gets better, or you stay at home and don't do nothing. Then 1 year later, when you decide to go back to study, when there are physical classes available, then students will definitely say, I 1 year never study. I'm very scared. 太久没有读书了，怎么办? So there's always a reason/excuse that comes up, no matter how. But yes, this is what Kaplan Singapore has put in place since the 3rd week of March up to now. And I'm proud to say that our online programs are relatively receptive, not just in Malaysia. Malaysians still need some convincing. Other nationalities, relatively receptive. And even our current students are receptive. And believe it or not, Singapore students love the online program. Probably because they get to sleep late, wake up late. I don't know lah. Don't have to come to school. But from what I heard, they are actually getting more students in as opposed to physical classes.
Wow.
Yes. So
Interesting.
very,
Right, very interesting. But anyhow, agree so much what Joshua say. You know, we are in the new normal. Online learning is no longer a myth, a dream. Online learning is reality. You know, everyone is going to go online. Whether you want to go with the flow or you want to be left behind, you have to decide. But it is so true that the next 8 months. I mean, it's an 8 months diploma program. It's a very short program. So
correct.
if you just join the diploma first, complete the 8 months program, and then pursue on your degree in Singapore. Hey, think of another way. You save up the living. If you're talking about that
Correct.
living that you're concerned, 8 months you save up the living. You're studying from your home, and then you only have to go to Singapore for only the next remaining program degree. Maybe finish it in 18 months, 16 months.
Correct.
So that's even better. Okay.
So yeah, so I mean, to end off, I think that when you go and ask Jeffrey for any advice, and he shows the online programs, whatever fees you see there, those are the fees. So by studying online, you're actually saving, number one, application fee of $500. Number two, admin fee of $963.
Wow.
And number three, and most importantly, you're saving on living. You stay at home, your food is prepared by your parents. If not, you call Grab food, everything is at home. So there is I do not see any bad side to it. I only see the benefits to it. Don't waste time, you study, and you're also still just attending fixed classes 3 hours a day. There are fixed timings to attend. So far, from what I see, the programs that we have started online, classes start about 12 o'clock. So fine, you can sleep until 10, you can sleep until 11:45, then you go for class. It's also fine. So don't take this opportunity to really upgrade yourself, get back into the mood, and even if you're studying online, that doesn't mean we don't have pair work. Now with technology so advanced, I mean, Jeffrey's using this platform that I've never used before up to today. The common platform everybody uses now is Zoom. And Zoom is the platform we all use. But even with digital platforms such as this, we are able to still do pair work, pair assignment. Means we are in the same group, we discuss, we do up. When we go to class, we just present like how I presented over the last 1 hour plus to everybody using PowerPoint slides. Just present and talk. That's it. So this is the new norm going forward, at least for the next 12, 18, 24 months, for sure.
That's right.
Yes.
So true. Okay, Josh.
Thank
you
you.
very much for your time for the
Thank you,
last
everybody.
1 hour and 50 minutes. Appreciate so much your
No
afternoon.
problem.
I know you will have more things to do, but appreciate you sharing us about studying Singapore, studying Kaplan, the opportunity to learn about this. It's fantastic. Appreciate your time. So we will have to let you go.
No problem.
One day,
Thank you,
hopefully,
Jeffrey.
come again to Malaysia when things are better. And some students we want to see you. Take care.
I'm waiting to go and wash car, pump petrol.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. All right. So
Thank you
thank you,
very much.
everybody. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Just to let you all know, Global Reach is a program that we'll be running almost every other week, taking turns with other programs that we have in other series. Global Reach is a program where we will bring you to know more about study in abroad, study in an institution from another country. Good time, good chance for you to learn. And also just stay tuned. Remember to like our Facebook, follow us, share our Facebook accounts out, and you will get many more all these insights about career, about opportunity to study in Malaysia, opportunity to know about scholarship, opportunity to know about many more about education, which we all work very, very hard to bring to you for your own benefit. Okay, I'm Jeffrey. Thank you for the last 1 hour and 50 minutes you have spent with us. I'll be signing off. I will see you again very soon in our next episode. Take care. All the best. Let's aim with the Kaplan video. Have a good weekend.
Hello, Jackie. Hope you're good flight. This way, please. Let me help you with your luggage.
Welcome to Kaplan, Jackie. Please enter this room for your briefing session. You'll have to sign your student contract, then you'll have to complete a list of items before you start your lessons. First up, you need to go for your medical checkup. Then you'll need to go to the Immigration and Checkpoints Authority office to collect your student pass. Up next, meet your program managers and they'll pass to you your timetable and student access card.
Here's your timetable and your student access card. Remember to come for class early.
All the best. Anything, feel free to contact us.
Hey man, my name is Adrian. Nice to meet you. What's your name? Oh, Jackie. You know what? There's a lot of eating places around here. Let's hang out after class, okay? Oh, lectures here.